We are already having a great time here. I'm so excited to have one half of the dynamic duo of Holy Smoke. We're going to get into it. Everybody, good afternoon. Welcome to Small Biz Bites. I am Gwendolyn G.R. Houston Jack, and I'm excited today. I was excited the other day, but I'm a foodie. So when you bring people on who are about food and good times and good vibes, what can I tell you? I am in my happy place. We are streaming this afternoon to Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And so if you're on YouTube, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and let us know where you're tuning in from, either live or in the replay. And as I was sharing with our special guest earlier, I already have my cocktail on deck. We are doing the American Made with some holy smoked, was it wildflower honey? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we like to do it. So let's get into who we're talking to. I'm going to let you introduce yourself because it's like, who is the dynamic duo behind Holy Smoke?
All right. I'll tell you what, I was actually already grooving to that intro music you had going on too. I kind of feel like that could be the whole interview right there, just talking over that. Yeah. So anyway, I'm Max Blackman, and my business partner is Kyle Payne. He's hard at work right now while I'm, having conversations. But yeah, we actually just started making Holy Smoke about, I guess, 11 years ago at this point. And we were working as co-workers at this restaurant on Folly Beach. He was cooking in the kitchen and I was serving. One night after drinks, which, obviously we're very fond of.
There you go.
He just told me about his idea to make hickory smoked olive oil and sort of the problem that he was having doing it, which was cold smoking. And so I went to home and put together this little machine and took it over to his house. And that's pretty much how that started.
That's how it started. Now, make sure I'm correct. You guys are in Charleston, correct?
Yeah, Charleston, South Carolina.
Sweet. Well, I'll tell you now, we are baking here in Texas.
Okay.
Literally.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so. I mean, there's like all kinds of like power outages going on because of how hot it is down there. Huh? The roads are melting.
Man, I know it's a quick sidebar, but we like sidebars here. We were talking the other day about these grids, these power grids, like nationwide. We don't have the same life we had back in the day where they could just sort of take it. One, it has gotten hotter, but two, we have so many more electronics in our home, multiple TVs, there's smart houses, like all of these things are pulling energy at all times, minus the heat. So it's like, we got to figure out what we need to do because it's not sustainable.
I think that's, well, I mean, I agree with you, but it's like, as back in the day, I feel like appliances and light bulbs and all of that stuff are more efficient now as far as electricity usage.
Okay.
Because you have like LEDs instead of like cathode ray tubes or instead of incandescent bulbs and stuff like that. But I feel like there's just more people using more stuff. So it's like the population has exploded from 30 years ago. So maybe I'm sure it probably both has everything to do with it, but it's like the population growth has certainly made things, I mean, especially here in Charleston, we see just development happening everywhere. And while it's not the power grid, our infrastructure, there's traffic everywhere. We have woods being torn down for tract houses and stuff like that. It's, I guess that's just a symptom of human growth, but maybe something we can cure a little bit. Huh?
I'm trying to catch myself because sometimes I think about humans. I'm like, we are worse than locusts. We just tear down stuff, tear up stuff, and act like, oh my goodness, there is a bear in my backyard. Why is that? It's like,
because we took its home.
Right. I'm like, least I know you're a fan of sidebar, so we're gonna have a good time
Oh
today.
yeah, I can go off on a tangent any old time.
We love the rabbit holes. Oh, and shout out to Gary, who is here tuning in. Hello, Gary. Hello. Happy to have you here. So you were saying that it was Kyle's idea to do the smoked olive oil. Oh.
Yes,
he is the cook, right? So he's the guy who's like does all the.
Yeah, he's got the food knowledge. He is a whiz with food. But him and his wife actually were making hickory smoked sea salt, which turns out was like our fourth product that we ended up making as a company. But for a couple of years previous, they were making some sea salt to give away as Christmas gifts. And Kyle just happened to look around his kitchen and he saw that he had a big bottle of olive oil and thought, hey, why don't we just give this a try? And so, they made a bunch of smoked olive oil to give out with the sea salt for Christmas gifts. And people just raved about it. And he did it for a couple of years and finally was like, maybe we should start making some money off of this because people seem to love it so much. So I
got it as a gift is how I got it. And I thought, okay, they were like, it's bacon in a bottle. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. Man, I put it in the skillet and scrambled some eggs. And I was like, oh my God, wait a minute.
There you go. Now, see, I will tell you that like the slogan, like all of the marketing stuff like that, it's like liquid bacon is good for you. That's my creation. I'm the one that does all that.
That's smart. It was so smart.
Oh, Kyle hated that. He absolutely hated that phrase so much because just because it's so oversimplified. Like whenever it comes to food, he is like such a perfectionist and doesn't like things. Like, okay, for instance, like a tomato caprese salad. We all know what we're talking about. We're talking about sliced tomatoes, mozzarella, basil, some olive oil. Okay, he just despises the term caprese for some reason. I don't know why. He's like, it's not a caprese, blah, blah, blah. So he just doesn't like the oversimplification of food. And especially whenever we were at the farmer's market the first year, I'd go describe the flavor of the olive oil and be like, that's why we say it's like liquid bacon that's good for you. And the customers would just start busting out laughing and smiling, and he's just sitting there like gritting his teeth. So I took great pleasure in that, honestly.
Everybody loves bacon. Like, who doesn't love bacon?
I agree.
I mean,
there are some people that argue with you about it.
I mean, I want to say everybody loves bacon. Oh, but wait a minute. Hello. Shout out to Danny. Thank you for tuning in, ma'am. She is celebrating. She's starting her new career journey. So celebration to Danny. And I'm not sure she's a bacon eater, so I could be wrong there. She may not. I don't know if she's down with the bacon.
Everybody's free to disagree.
No, right? But people say that money can't buy happiness, but it can buy bacon, and that's close enough. So
whenever you eat it, that's happiness.
I know, right? So let me talk about the history. Let's go there really quick. Because it was founded in 2012. As you said, they had been doing this for a little bit and said, hey, people are liking it. Why not go that route? And you guys have been around. It's 10 years. I mean, going on, 11.
11 years at this point. Yeah, just this year.
That is huge. A lot of companies don't last that long. So what has that journey been like? Because clearly they were doing it for a little while and then said, hey, and we know a lot of people make a lot of great foods, cupcakes, all the things, but making it sustainable is easier said than done.
That is true. It's been a challenge, for the first, 7 years of business, we didn't pay ourselves. We still worked other jobs. So it was more like a side hustle that, was more of a hobby. It was a time-consuming hobby that was, we were passionate about, but man, it was a lot of work. Still working in restaurants and all of that good stuff. Learning tons of lessons because, Kyle went to college briefly, and I honestly not sure for what. I loosely went to school for mechanical engineering, but it was more or less, partying and having a good time, not wanting to do calculus at 8:30 in the morning. And so, neither one of us have any business experience whatsoever. So we just completely, bungled our way through it. We looked at certain things, we're like, hey, this feels right. This looks right. But we've always known customer service. So it's like, you have a good product, you give good customer service, you have to try to figure out the numbers in between.
Yeah.
And I think that we're both just pretty good at adapting to disasters, because we've had to go through quite a few of them. And just, if one of us loses our cool, the other one's there keeping a cool head, being like, hey, look, we got to do this. Like we can't let this get us down. We have to get our shit together and just push forward. And, we've always just been there for each other with that persevering through, trudging through the mud. So
I think it's great that you shared that, because I know a lot of us, and there's a lot of small business owners who watch and who are in the crowd today. And it's so easy to look at someone else's journey and say, oh my God, they're doing so great. It's like overnight success. Overnight, by no means.
No, I don't think there's a such thing as overnight success. Maybe that, I think there was that lady that made those plugs that you put into Crocs that like have little different buttons and stuff on them. I think she might be the only one.
It could be. The rest of us, we have to figure out how to keep afloat. And like you guys, I kept my full-time job for 2 reasons. But one was I knew I was going to step away eventually, right? Mm-hmm. But then also, too, for the first couple of years, it was a hobby. It was a hobby. Sure. And then a family member said, it's like, hey, you got a pretty good eye. You should think about this like in serious terms. You're like, really? I should? And then you don't know what you don't know until it's afterwards. we enjoy those learning lessons, but it is a huge milestone to make it to 10 years. And now you guys are celebrating 11. So congrats on that. Congrats. Oh, and Danny says, Dan, do I need bacon or meat?
Well, that's why there's holy smoke, because it's completely vegan.
Thank you. Right. You can still get that bacon feeling without that.
So no meat whatsoever.
Oh, and Erica's here. Hello, Erica. She says, what's in the cup? Oh, this one. I'm doing the American made, right? And this includes, I've got the Saint Germain. We have the bourbon in there. There is the the smoked wildflower honey from Holy Smoke. And was it cucumber and lemon juice? Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Like refreshing, summery.
And it's very.
I'm just drinking a little Irish whiskey.
He's doing Irish whiskey on the other side. We like to do cocktails and things here at Small Biz Bites. For those who enjoy a cocktail, I don't want to.
I just didn't come prepared. I didn't know.
Next time you'll know that we will bring a good cocktail and we'll do a good sidebar as well. Mm-hmm. That's what we like to do. So. You guys were in Whole Foods, and was it like Harry Teeter and a few others?
Harry's Teeter, Earth Fare, which is a little regional natural grocery chain in the Southeast. Mm-hmm. We're in about 200 Walmarts in the Southeast. That just came about, I guess, in October of last year. A bunch of small gourmet shops, especially the ones here in town, have been. They've always been a huge pillar of support for us. We've got like Low Country olive oil here in town, which the funny thing is, like, for the first year that we were in business, we were like, other olive oil, that's our competition. And then we kind of felt that they felt the same way about us. And then one day they, emailed us and was like, yeah, we got so Kyle and I both, we read tone because we're both sarcastic as shit. Like, we are very sarcastic people. So whenever I read an email from somebody, if it just seems slightly off to me, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying there. So either way, we're always reading tone and everything. But so, we get an email from Low Country Olive Oil, who, like I said, they're friends of ours now. But at the time, I'm just like reading this, like, hey, our customers keep asking about your product, so I guess we have to bring you in here. And and I don't know if that's actually the case. It's just. But either way, we're like, we've got, small retailers or small gourmet shops and restaurants just around the country that are huge supporters of us that I just absolutely love too. That's actually kind of what I miss, because whenever we first started, we had the farmer's market the first year. And then finally I was like, well, we need to start getting into gourmet shops. So I hit the ground, I just walked around Charleston because there are tons of little shops here in Charleston. So I just walked around and knocked on doors, got to know people, got to know business owners, clerks, everything like that. And I'd go in there with my product, come back a couple of days later. Hey, you like it? All right, here it is. But I just got to make all these relationships with people that I don't get to make now as much anyway as, that I did whenever I did that, because now I'm doing like spreadsheets and sending emails, and it's just a completely different game being in the corporate side of things. Selling to big companies, it's just not it's not as fun, and it's more tedious. It's taken a little bit of the joy out of it, but at the same time, I know that that's sort of how it goes too.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that because I thought about there was another business owner. He's a photographer. He mentioned the importance of relationships in your business, right? And I'm thinking, as a small business owner, we often think, I need the big guy behind me. I need like a Wally World or someone behind me. And then at the exact same time, my gut says, but if I partner with other small businesses, we can all rise together because we get it. Like we're literally all in this together. And the more of us, that there's tons of us out there that can be sponsors, can put product out, can do promotion, that you don't always have to have the big guy, It's
true. It's very true. I mean, as a matter of fact, the big guy is what takes all of your profit margin. You have to sell for cheaper because they're buying in bulk, or you have to go through distributors, which they want to take their cut because they're the ones distributing it to the bigger guys. So it's really, I don't know. Yeah, it's tough. It's just a much tougher game. And I think the grocery game in general, I didn't realize how tough it was going to be, because I just thought, I was like, you see one of these products on the shelf at a major grocery store. It's like, oh, they must be doing well. And then now I see myself on the same shelf, and I'm like, maybe they're not doing as good as I thought they were, because I certainly know we aren't, in so many words. But also, it is even dealing with just your personal customers, like let's take businesses out of it in general. I actually make a lot of personal relationships, strangely enough, because of like the emails that I send out, or because like being at farmers markets and all that stuff, and people contact me and they'll have conversations. They want to buy my product, obviously, but I have great one-on-one conversations with just, everyday customers all of the time, which is still, it really does help fill that void of, feeling like a robot, a cog in the machine.
Yeah. I can imagine that. For those who are just tuning in, we are talking with Max from Holy Smoke. He is half of that dynamic duo that creates Holy Smokes smoked olive oil. There's the smoked sea salt, the smoked ground pepper, the wildflower honey. Did I get them all? Oh,
and the Bloody Mary
vinegar.
Oh yeah, which we actually just ran out of that, so that's going to be gone for a while.
I know. I have mine. I got mine.
There you go. You got your stock bottle.
I have to make sure I have mine. And shout out to our people who are watching Black Eighth Element. Hello there, family. My brother tuned in. And, here's the deal. So our dad was a private chef.
Okay.
So I have to admit that my palate is just a little particular. I'm not gonna lie about it. My siblings, I'm not so sure, but I do know that I am very particular about what I use and ingredients and things of that nature. And so I kind of swing more towards, I don't want to say gourmet, but I do like the smaller batch kind of things. And, I'm a little.
Are you trying to tell me you can't eat Taco Bell at 2:00 in the morning?
Every now and then, the husband and I will get up and make a roll. So I won't lie like that. I'm not going to lie about it. We do. From time to time, it does happen. It's like, golly, I really want something to eat. We'll swing by maybe Jack in the Box or something. But I'm just saying, I'm just saying.
No, I got you. I'm just messing with you.
Oh, and Danny I haven't tried the Bloody Mary. So.
Okay. I'll send you a bottle whenever. Yeah, I'll send you a bottle whenever we get finished with this.
There we go. Something to do. But I do like the idea of us talking about how for so many of us, we see people, like you said, in the grocery stores, and we're thinking, man, they are just like blowing it out, like really doing it. And if you know about gross margin and products, right? And I'm coming from a retail background, you really start looking at the real cost of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember when we brought in some electronics and the gross margin there was like nil. So it was one of the few things that we didn't get like a discount on because you don't get anything from it. Magazines, things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, man. So for me, I personally, when I see something that I really do like, I honestly am conscious of going to that person to buy the item because I know that there's a better way of getting the profit, if you will, if I go to the person directly versus going to the grocery store. And I don't mind. I mean, I like to keep, hold up. People are thinking, just so they know, yes, I got the big bottle. I had to go. And this is that one that the young lady designed.
Yeah, that's actually my friend's daughter, Rory. She designed that for Halloween.
Yes. Yeah, I was like, okay, because I was doing the small bottles, and I thought, Gwendolyn, stop playing around. I was running out so often. I was like, man, come on and get you like a nice big bottle and call it a day.
There you go. And you can refill the small bottles too. That way, you still got the nice little one on your counter. But
well, I didn't even. I got the little fancy.
I didn't put the instructions on the back of the bottle. That's the problem.
But okay, so I'll keep that in mind. Mind. I'll think like another one. I always, like I said, I like to do little things and give stuff. Hey, speaking of family, my mom is here.
Oh, hey.
Mother's there. And we have Eric said everybody can eat Taco Bell at 2 a.m. If you don't regret it.
If you don't regret it, yeah.
Well, if I must say, full disclosure, those nacho fries, man.
See, I haven't had those. Whenever it comes to certain things, I'm a creature of habit. I always just go with 3 soft tacos. That's it. Like, I know what that does to me. I know that's the flavor that I need whenever I go there, and I'm not trying to venture too far out. I don't want to have too rough of a next day. I'm trying to mitigate that regret,
I like the gordita, but those nacho fries, they come out at a very specific time. They bring it out, then they discontinue it, knowing that it's just French fries and like cheese sauce and some special something. But it's tasty. It is tasty.
Yep.
Everybody likes fries. And hello to Paul Ross. Hello. Thank you for tuning in. We are just getting started, and I want to talk about you say sarcasm. You can call it snarkiness, sarcasm. For me, it just feels like nature. I'm in the same boat. So I do love that down-to-earth tone that you guys have in the newsletter, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of people try to figure out, I don't know, I think they shy away. No, I do know. People, in my opinion, shy away from being their authentic selves when it comes to newsletters.
Sure.
Because I feel as if they're trying to present something that they're not. And if I can just say, if there's any newsletter that you guys really want to read hands down, it really is the one from Holy Smoke. It is just so real. Clearly you're not using ChatGPT because
it's just me. It is just me talking on there.
It's just down. Now, is it you primarily, or is it you and Kyle? Are you guys sharing?
No, it's just me.
Okay.
He doesn't do any of the marketing stuff. Not that he couldn't, but he doesn't really like to write. He's got plenty to say, but he likes to talk instead of write. No, that's just me. Whenever we first started, I thought you think to emulate other things that you see as far as like, hey, well, these big businesses are doing it. This is obviously what works. You're trying to go middle of the road, not offend anybody, or, trying not to get too heady for people who don't really care too much about philosophy or anything like that. Whenever it comes down to it, then you are just, I've come to realize that you are just another piece of black, white, or gray in the static of the world right now, because there's so much advertising. We are just like, we have ads shoved down our throat constantly. Like, there is no way to get away from an ad. You can't open your phone without seeing 2 text messages from some company that's trying to offer you life insurance. It's ridiculous. So I don't know, I just have a lot to say, and I realize that if it's a newsletter, I might as well be honest, might as well just be myself and just say what's on my mind. Sometimes I'll have, had a little bit to drink and just want to ramble about something, or sometimes I'm pissed and, I don't, I don't like what's going on. So I'll talk about it, at least in terms of how our business is and all of that stuff and just how I'm feeling, because I think what's important is that people realize that, yes, we are a company, like we're a legal entity, holy smoke, but that legal entity that sells products is two people. It's me and my business partner. And so we're not like some faceless, giant corporation. And even still, a giant corporation is still comprised of people. Yeah. But regardless, point is, like, I just want to be myself. I don't really want to, just try to do that middle of the road crap that doesn't really say anything. You're not saying anything by being middle of the road. And I feel like, sure, people can be offended by stuff if you're offensive, like if you're not a good person, or some people can take something innocuous the wrong way or whatever. But the bottom line is I always leave ourselves open for communication. Like if somebody disagrees with something that I have to say, I want them to say something to me. Like there's no reason to get mad about it. Let's have a conversation about it. That's how we grow as people. That's how we've grown as a society. That's basically what makes civilization what it is because people have always had to work together, disagree with ideas and find out a way to like forge ahead, even if you have different ideas. So why not just be that person in your business as well as in your life? Like I guess that's really what it comes down to.
It makes sense. I know for myself, and it can sometimes feel like you're sending this out and no one's reading. And I admit, sometimes so I rarely reply, but I do follow instructions. When you said, hey, go on Instagram and retweet something, it's like, yeah, I'll repost it.
Yeah, sure.
So I am reading, I am paying attention, but I don't always, and I know for myself, I'll tell people, yeah, if you want to do this, like hit reply and we'll talk. And sometimes I'll get responses. Other times it's like crickets. I'm like, is anybody reading this thing? I mean, according to analytics, they say somebody opens it, somebody
No, I know what you mean. And sometimes I'll get, like really big replies back and it's, saying, hey, I feel what you're saying. It meant a lot. And then go to talk about an experience that they're having in their own life or say, hey, I disagree with this and this is how I feel. And it's great because it gives me, like I said, it is that personal communication that I have appreciated. And it's just making relationships with people. And whenever it comes down to it, I mean, it is business. So those relationships that you create with people are going to create, lifelong customers. Once again, that's not why I do it, but it's a really good byproduct of, being authentic is you do create connections with people that then in turn buy your product instead of just shove it away to the trash bin, like, everything else.
Right. Oh man. Thank you. Hey, Gary's chiming in. 3 soft shells for the win. All right.
Yeah. He knows what's up.
Somebody who's on your boat. And well, hey, Erica, now this was not planted. It was not planted. But I have an excerpt from the newsletter. I do. And I want to talk about it. Hold on. Let me get it together.
I need to finish this for this one.
Oh, we'll do it. Okay, hold on. There you go. Okay. We'll have to do shots next time. Okay, so the last one I read talked about the Charleston Pride Parade. And hold on here. I want to read that one. I really like it. Can I see it? Gwendolyn, Renee, Houston, Jack. Hold on there. Okay, there we go. So now I don't have your voice, so don't judge me, all right?
I'm excited to hear.
All right, so I'm sitting at the farmer's market this morning writing this email, and the Charleston Pride Parade is taking place currently. Wrote about a week ago. Full disclosure. I know, right? It says, what is that? Oh shit, hold up. It's kind of small for me on the screen. Oh, that doesn't work. There we go. Okay. Me and my old eyes. Don't judge me, y'all. Don't judge me. It just wells me with such positivity and beauty to see so many people out celebrating life and love. It doesn't matter what you believe. Fact is, we're all born on a journey to death. Amen to that. Amen. Hold on, let me go over here. There we go. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And it says, and we just have to find the joy we can before we arrive at our final destination. We hope to find happiness and fulfillment in ourselves and celebrate when those around us do the same. We're all just trying to figure out what works best for us, and that ain't an easy task. We're only here for a short and difficult time. Might as well love while you can. And I love you all and wish you the very best. P.S. If you don't agree with, he's like, wait a minute, don't read, hold up. P.S. If you don't agree with my thoughts, I'm more than happy to discuss it with you. Just email me back. There's nothing that I love more than talking philosophy with someone with a different point of view. Part of what we've lost and need to regain in this country is the art of civil discourse and finding a middle ground on which we can all stand together. Bruh, can I just say, like, I was like, holy shnikes. Man, I was like, oh, wow. Because I think about that, and I do think about, I get business. Yes, it is an entity. It has no feeling, no gender, no nothing, but the people do make the business. Mm-hmm. And a lot of us do choose to spend our dollars based on our values and what matters most to us and what somebody supports and whatever else, right? At the exact same time, there are some things out there that I don't like, you know, but I just scroll past them. I don't have to engage in all of that unless I have an inkling that maybe there is a spot to have, as you say, a civil discourse.
Sure.
Which, yes, we are lacking. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure how we got to a place of, if I don't like what's going on in your life, I'm going to just do and say whatever and just be ridiculous. I find it personally a cry for attention because God, I mean, there was a lady, I'll give you this example. There was a lady who was out on a very small garden and she had a picture of herself enjoying her tea in her garden, right? She's like, oh, it's a brand new day. I'm out in my garden enjoying some tea. Mm-hmm. So people were like, well, must be nice to have a garden and look at you. You don't have to work in the morning. And she's like, I work at night. Right? Like, and it's a very small garden. And I thought to myself, have we really become that miserable? Is that where we are?
It's a good question. I will say, as far as like, I don't know, just the vitriol and, people just being reactionary to things in a negative way. I have a feeling that that really started to come to a head. What was it, 7 years ago at this point? I think it was 2016 may have been the year that really things started to get a little angry in this country. Mm-hmm. So I think it became a popular thing to do, like, so, I mean, if we're going to get into where I think that a lot of so I think the example that's set by people and for people in this country has a lot to do with our, unfortunately, political leaders, celebrities, all of that stuff, politicians. We elect these people or we glorify these people and they somehow become role models to us instead of, just your next door neighbor who's doing something awesome. Why aren't they your role model, right? Mm-hmm. But so there's we've gotten sort of overrun with these role models that they imitate. Well, they imitate Trump because he won the presidency by being an asshole to absolutely everybody, and so now other people are winning by doing the same thing, and it's just sort of tapped into this, visceral thing that all humans share. I mean, all humans, they can be angry, every human has experienced heartbreak or a lack of love or disappointment or something like that. And for a lot of people, which I think a lot of people don't really process their emotions the way that they should, or understand their emotions and like sort of flourish into an actual adult instead of an overgrown child. But I think that really tapped into something for a lot of people. And, you know, a lot of people, like I said, they don't have that emotional maturity that some people do. So they're stuck in that anger phase, and it's just made so everybody can be angry right now. And it's like a real angry time for people to just want to lash out about absolutely everything that they don't like, they don't agree with. They don't have the capability to open up for a second, to shut up for a second, and to listen and understand and see and be that person that they're being mad at. Like they just can't put themselves in the shoes of the person that they're getting mad at. They can't be anybody but themselves for a second. And they find it very difficult to be themselves anyway. That most of these people that are angry are not even themselves. They're pretending to be something that they've always been told that they should be. And so they're probably mad about that too.
Oh man.
That's how I see it. You know, it's a fatal lack of understanding of the self. Like people don't understand themselves. And so they don't understand other people even worse.
You know, let me just, as Black Eighth Element says, people are allergic to logical debates. They are. People are at this place of, I do believe there's a lot of anger. There's a lot of anger, and I don't even, what's the other right word for it? It's almost as if somebody promised them something and it just hasn't happened, and they feel as if, you know, if you got it and I didn't get it, then something must be wrong, and like, I'm just mad at the world. Sure. And I can't really wrap my head around it because I don't fully understand it. Now, full disclosure, our mother is a retired minister. Okay. So mother was clear about, you know, reading your manual, i.e. the Bible. She was very clear about that. But she also made us aware that we were all made in God's image and we are all blessed beyond measure. And so we had this whole idea of, if you only got 2 pennies in your pocket, you are rich. Like, sure, everybody truly has enough. Like, we really don't
got 2 pennies, share one.
Right?
Yeah.
We don't need another TV or another car. Like, a lot of this stuff is just excess. It's just
without a doubt.
So I have to wonder, and tell me your thoughts. So we know that there is this really huge financial disparity gap. Like, it is huge. And there are people, as you mentioned, who Lord bless social media, well-crafted stories. They are flossing. I'm out here on the beach. I'm on this yacht. I'm drinking the champagne. And then you also have people who don't even have a living wage, right? Who are just trying to make the ends meet. And they're like 2 magnets and they just won't come together, right? And so you're seeing this every day, and you're hearing about the CEO who brought in another $30 million, but yet just cut 10,000 jobs.
Right.
And so you get to a place of, I'm just really, really angry because the American dream, well, I don't even know like what that was if it doesn't exist. You know, I mean.
Yeah, I think the American dream was being able to work and support a family and put food on your table and have a roof over your head, and not even 2 people can work and do that. You know, it's
not in this day and age. Like my parents were able, like my mother and my father took times where they were at-home parents, right? And then once the last one got to junior high, they're like, hey, great. So now we're all going back to work. That doesn't happen nowadays. I mean, childcare is crazy expensive. If you do a private school, it's crazy expensive. Everything is more expensive. Forget it. Everything's more expensive. Right. But yet we haven't moved that needle to pay people. And this, like, why would I pay them that much money? That's crazy. It's like things have to be relative. Like it should.
People don't realize the money that they put into the community, even if it doesn't directly affect them, it does. If you make the world a better place for other people, it's going to make the world a better place for yourself. You know, that's what, like, I don't understand why, people are getting all up in arms about, let's say, student loan cancellation. Okay, I went to school, I paid my loans back, but do you think I care if, like, other people don't have crushing debt
Right.
bearing down on the top of their head all the time. Like, that doesn't make for a good society to have how many ever millions of people with insurmountable debt that is crushing them down. Like, that basically is turning them into worker bees that have to make financial decisions based on fear.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also will never have anything. They will not be able to create a better life because they are so strapped with this, like I said, debt that they will never be able to pay back. So why not make a better society that people are free to earn a little bit more money, or to put more of themselves into the economy, instead of, like I said, I think that making the world better for others makes the world better for yourself. If you build a park in an underprivileged neighborhood where the kids can go, or put money in a school in an underserved community where kids can go to school, have education, have something to do, and grow up to be productive adults, that is going to make your life better. Even if you do not live anywhere near there, even if it has nothing to do with you, it's making your life better because you are making the world a better place. It's just going to be a better place to live if you make other people's lives better.
Right.
So I don't get it. I agree. And you got people that are like you're talking about the CEOs and people that are just absolutely hoarding wealth and not doing anything for the people that created that wealth for them. Like, you look at CEOs, no, they didn't make the products, they didn't sell the products, they just happened to make a couple of decisions and sit behind a desk. They did not do anything really that, like I said, they made a couple of decisions, and they might have been good financial decisions for the shareholders or for the company, but the backs in which all of these things are built are on the people that are down below. They're on the laborers and the workers, and those people need to be taken care of, because that is what drives the economy. That is what makes the world. That's the majority, is the laborers and the small people. I just don't get why you wouldn't want to make the world a better place by that, because eventually it's going to be like the French Revolution. You're going to have the Marie Antoinette saying, "Let them eat cake," and then you're going to have them getting beheaded because the people in the streets can't afford to do anything besides eat the rich. It's just, it's getting to that point where if you can't survive, what else are you going to do? You're going to get desperate. You're going to get savage. Like, that's what happens. That's also, well, I believe that's a lot where a lot of crime in general comes from, is from desperation and lack of opportunity, lack of options. Like, people always say, "Oh, well, everybody made this decision," or, you made this decision to do this. It's like, do you know where that person's from? Do you know what their family life is like? Do you know what options they truly had as an individual? It's not the same as you, I can assure you. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't be doing what it is that they're doing. Yeah. So, like I said, I just like to put myself in other people's shoes and understand everybody's situation. I had, I don't know, a year and a half ago, some guy stole my truck out of my driveway. I left it unlocked with the keys in it because I know that's pretty stupid, but I live in the country. There's not really anything going on out here. And I'm also just kind of trusting by nature. Mm-hmm. But that dude, he stole my truck, and as pissed off as I was, it was like, why, what had to go on in this dude's life for him to feel like he has to do this? Because he has to have a better, or I must have a better situation and better circumstances that he does, because I wouldn't think to do this. Mm-hmm. So the fact that he felt like he had to do this in order to do whatever he had to do, something must be going wrong. So how could I help this person? How can this person be helped and not further harmed, and then in turn them continue to further harm society? Like I said, I just think that helping is the way to do anything. Punishment can only go so far. Help is where the truth and the solution lies.
We do need our mindset needs to be adjusted. I will say that. I know I was working on another podcast to discuss grace and mercy, and that we all need it. And it's so easy for us to immediately get angry and attack somebody. But if we stop, like you said, and say, wait a minute, why is this person doing what they're doing? Right? Let me just step back for a second and really think about that before I respond, make a comment, or do anything. But something had to be going down for them to make this decision. Let me, just sort of shift my thinking and think, wait a minute, what's really going on here? We got a lot of comments. So Erica's like, people are jaded. They are. There may be a couple here and there. He says, Black Age Element says, it's easier for people to be critical of other people than being critical within themselves. Ooh.
This is true.
Man.
Nobody wants to admit fault.
I looked in the mirror once or twice. I am fully aware of my good parts and my ugly parts. And I got some ugly parts. I'm not going to lie to you, Max. I got some ugly parts. My mama would tell you. I'm
surprised she didn't whoop them out of you.
Man, you know, let me tell you. I was, okay, so out of the four of us, I'm fairly straight and narrow. I took notes. We have an older sister. So she would do things. I'd be like, not gonna try that. Let me write that down. So we knew some things, but you know, but we are human, and humans have good parts and they got bad parts. Like we are just, you know, if you push me, yeah, I admit a little bit of my honorary New Yorker comes out. I'm not gonna lie about that, you know. And I'm also a Texan, so we're a little aggressive. I admit that. It is there. What can I tell you? Mm-hmm. America says the American dream is like carnival games. It was an image painted to get something from someone knowing, and it's unachievable. It's unachievable. Things have changed. Things have changed. And my mother, she says, God put here to glory God, not to please people. Thank you, Mother, for sharing the word. I know she's going to come through for us. I knew she would. Mm-hmm. She always does. She always comes through. But okay, before I move on to our next topic, because I do want to talk about some food.
I was about to say, we can talk about this all day.
Okay, so here's my last one. I know, right? I know. Mm-hmm. Here's my last one. So the discussion of living wage and work, there is this ridiculous idea that people don't want to work. People want to work. Believe it or not, even if we didn't have to work, we would want to work because you want someone to be looking for you, to be expecting you. You want to have value in the world, right?
Exactly.
So this idea of work and what was it called? Quiet quitting, whatever that's about.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means, really.
Yeah, it's like, okay. So I really believe, I'm so optimistic. I thought that with the pandemic and the resetting of defining what matters to us, self-care, mental health, and things of that nature, and knowing that half of these jobs, if not 3/4 of these jobs, could be done remotely, that we would issue in a new era of working that says, hey, let's stop believing in that 9-to-5 grind and let's get into a place of dynamic work. And yet and still, it seems like those who are wherever they are have this want to still micromanage, really manage people and like watch people.
Right.
And I'm trying to think, in your opinion, where do you see this level of work going? Because in my heart, I believe if you stick with the old idea of how we work, you're going to miss out on talent. That's how I see it. Because and they're not even offering more money. I don't know why that's still a conversation, but whatever. Do you see a place where it really will now become a little fight between those who feel the need to micromanage and be in control of workers and the workers saying, you know what? I'm going to either go do my own thing, because a lot of talent has left the regular labor force. There's a lot of small business people now. Or that too, they will go where people are more dynamic.
Yeah. I mean, I do think that is the B and C option that you mentioned, because who truly wants to work for somebody who doesn't value them, you know, who doesn't create a productive and flowing workplace. That's you. In order to get talent to shine, in order to get people to be their most productive, like there has to be not only incentive as far as money is concerned, but you have to allow them to flourish within themselves. You know, there is no. I think that what's going on right now is people still want to beat that idea of like, you need to be a worker bee, you need to be here from 9 to 5, and here's that 8 hours that you're supposed to do, and here's your 30-minute break, and this, like, trying to still drill that concept into people, because once people start to see behind that veil and realize, hey, productivity, like whenever you're at a job for 8 hours, you're probably working 4 of those hours, and you're finding 4 hours of a way to like look like you're working. So that's what it really comes down to. And if I think that if people were to create a productive workplace, they would say, hey, look, just here's the stuff that you have to do today. Get it done. If you get it done in 20 minutes, we'll go home. This is what's on your plate, so get this done and like, don't fuck up. Like, this is you're accountable for what it is that you're doing. And if you don't do it properly, there will be repercussions. But if you do, there's going to be a reward. And that reward is free time or more money or whatever. But you don't have to be, chained down to the some old notion. I also feel like that it's like that 8-hour workday is something that was fought for in like the early 1900s, like the Industrial Revolution, whenever people were getting their arms cut off every day inside giant gears. That's those ideals. That 8-hour workday is an ideal from back then, like more than 100 years ago. So why wouldn't we try to update what we do for work, especially with technology and all of the productivity tools that we have now? People are going to go where they're valued and where I think for the most part, people should learn and they do value themselves. And if you have enough value in yourself, you're not going to go somewhere or stay somewhere where you're not valued as a person. But no more busy work. That's absolutely right. Erica's got that on point.
Busy work. It's just busy work. It's just now again, we cut the cord on it. I was like, and I'm out. But I'm still engaged in watching like what's happening in the work. And I'm trying to figure out like why we are just dead set on holding. Well, it's power. Go ahead and call it. It's power. Without
a doubt. But I've always worked in restaurants, so I've never really had a 9-to-5 job. So I can't really speak from experience in that regard I guess I had a 9-to-5 job for about 6 months. About 15 years ago, I was driving a truck for an electrical supply company, making deliveries. And that worked for about 6 months. And I was just like, nah, can't do this. And I went back to working in restaurants, and that's what I've been doing ever since, starting a business. But I actually love working in a restaurant. Like, it's kind of weird, but it is also that thing that I was talking about where you get to have these personal connections with people. All of the friends that I've made since middle school, like I actually have a really core group of friends that I've known since middle school. As a matter of fact, on Saturday night, we're going to get together and play some video games here at my house. I mean, we're dorks. I've had these friends for a long time, but then working in a restaurant in the almost 20 years that I've been working in restaurants, I've made such great friends because it's like this haven for people who can't live in that system, in that 9-to-5 system. It's not saying that they're unable to, but they just can't morally or like ethically put themselves in that spot where they're like strapped down to that, that 9-to-5, have to do this, have to have everything the exact same way and do this busy work. It's like, no, you're in there having fun. It's basically like being in high school, except for you're making money. I don't know. I've just always liked working in restaurants. I can't get over that for whatever reason. And I mean, Kyle and I would like to one day open a restaurant, and it would be awesome. I mean that would be more work. Yeah,
that will definitely be more work. So we're talking about food. Okay, so let's talk about the food because that was my question. So is Kyle the master chef behind the recipes that we see on the Holy Smoke website, or is there like a team thing there?
No, it's Kyle. Kyle would never stoop so high, or he would never step so high as to call himself a chef. He says that he's a cook at best, but on our business cards, he has himself as the executive dishwasher. So. No, but he's the one that comes up with all those recipes, even though I have to force him to do it every once in a while because he thinks that it's a waste of time because he's like, oh, people don't ever use these recipes, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, they do. Just because they're not telling you about it doesn't mean they're not doing it. And it doesn't matter. It's still good to have it out there. So just do it. Okay.
Here's the deal. So, but there's a good point there. A lot of us show up and do things and we think nobody's watching. There is always somebody watching. Yeah, even if you don't know that people are taking in your recipes or reading your newsletter or watching your podcast, whatever, people are watching. They're just not telling you that they're watching, and that's okay. But keep showing up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you have to do it because it's what you want to do. It's what you have to do. Regardless, either you want or you have to do it. Regardless, you got to do it. It's just one of those things. Like you said, keep showing up because of however our brain is wired to make us do it.
Right. So Erica wants to know, what's your favorite food or dish to put holy smoke on? And I want to show some of the products here. Just so, and I didn't bring my honey in here because I was using it earlier. But what's your favorite dish?
My favorite thing is probably smoked hummus.
Okay.
Yeah, I make a really good hummus on accident, but it turns out that I make a pretty good hummus. And so that's what I like to do it the most, but really cooking eggs in the morning with the olive oil. Drizzled on a steak. Make a nice pesto with it.
Okay.
Really? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I put, so me and my girlfriend, we pretty much live off of breakfast food. So, make a nice bacon, egg, and cheese or sausage, egg, and cheese sandwich and with some, cook everything in the smoked olive oil, but then drizzle it with some smoked honey.
Oh, we've got to put that out there then. Because I mean, like I said, I know I do a lot. I do just about everything in the smoked olive oil. Now, the first thing that you guys sold was the smoked olive oil, or was it the sea salt?
No, it was the smoked olive oil. The sea salt wasn't actually until much later on.
Okay, so we got the smoked olive oil, which is liquid.
Hold on 1 second. I'll go get the. Give me 1 second.
We'll give you a second. And if there's any more questions from Max while he's going out to grab, like I said, I grabbed stuff out of my kitchen that I absolutely love and use on a daily basis. Then by all means, there you go. Yes, that smoked olive oil. It is tasty. So there is that. And then we've got the salt and pepper, which I love the sea salt.
Ooh, thank you.
Popcorn. Oh man.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, there you go. We tried so hard to not make smoked sea salt for the longest time.
Really?
Yeah, because we were like, everybody's already done that. We want to do original things that nobody's ever done. That's why we did the olive oil, the salt, the olive oil, the honey, the pepper. And then finally we had so many people saying, hey, do y'all make a smoked sea salt? Do you make a smoked sea salt? And we're like, no, we don't make a smoked sea salt. And then finally I was like, Kyle, you know what we're doing? We're turning money around and sending it out the door. So why don't we just make the best smoked sea salt that we can possibly make? And so then we finally did it. And now it's like one of our most popular things.
It's great. I love the smoked sea salt. I love the smoked pepper too, the cracked pepper. But that smoked sea salt, man, you just put it on your vegetables, put it on your popcorn. I just put it on everything. I got a lot of smoked in my house at this point. But one of my favorites, I'm sorry, people, it's already sold out. I'm sorry. But the vinegar, man.
Yeah, the balsamic vinegar. Yeah.
If you're not a salad eater or you don't like vinegar, like the balsamic vinegar, this will change your mind, man. Like,
I think it tastes like just the best barbecue sauce that you can possibly get.
So yeah, but that's gone for now, but it'll be back, yeah?
Yeah. We just we're trying to do I originally have always wanted to do it like a seasonal thing, that's our pumpkin spice latte, get people liking it and then taking it away and bringing it back a little bit later. But because we just occasionally can get this really awesome balsamic vinegar for a relatively decent price to where we can sell it for $25 a bottle still, but it's super expensive vinegar, but we can get like a small enough quantity for a good enough price to be able to actually sell it. So it's like an opportunistic thing.
Okay, so right. That works because it is really good. And I know, like I said, I don't have it, but there's the Bloody Mary mix that is also smoked.
Yeah. And that basically is like a barbecued Bloody Mary.
We got something. So Erica says, where are they located out of? Okay, well, we talked about that, but they're out of Charleston, South Carolina. Yes. And
indeed.
You are in Whole Foods, you said, Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart in the Southeast, or on our website, holysmokeoliveoil.com.
Yeah, go to the website.
You can get it on Amazon if you want to get it on Amazon. But there's just check out our website at holysmokeoliveoil.com and you can get it there.
Yeah. And there was that one kit that I got from my dad. The one kit has the olive oil, the salt and the pepper and the honey.
Yeah, that's the pantry essentials.
It's That's a great starter pack. People, get the starter pack.
It'll be your monthly starter pack.
Uh-huh. And we can also follow you guys. So you guys are on Facebook. Yes, yep. And Instagram as well.
Yep.
Yes.
I wish I was better at social media. Quite honestly, I get too involved in other things, and then it's the same symptom of like, I don't have anything interesting to say or show right now, so I'm not going to do it. Like, I'm not just going to put some whatever out there, but I probably should. I probably just said, hey guys, how's it going? It's me still. I'm still here, just to keep us fresh in people's minds. But I'm just not.
Well, one of the things. Okay, so two points there. Yes, the whole idea of just putting out content to put out content. And I know for myself, I do a lot of auto publishing because it's so noisy, and I hate to be part of the crowd, but it gets really noisy. Right. But you can always just repost what your fans have shared. I mean, that's easy.
I guess that's true.
I mean, that never gets old, because then it'll let Kyle know that people are using those recipes.
That's true. Yeah, that serves dual purposes there. Look at that. I like that.
Right here. Now, I didn't take a picture of me and my drink this morning, but you can let him know that I use that recipe right now.
Well, I'm going to show him this. That way, I'm not going to be in the room while he's watching it, but I'm going to send him. I'm going to make sure he sees it.
That'll be proof that he should keep putting out the recipes, because we are using them. So don't think that no one's watching or no one's paying attention or no one's using them. And then who knows? Maybe I'm going to put it out to the universe. If you put together like a quick little cookbook, right? Of like all.
I've talked to him about that.
And then, people love a good cookbook, and then it comes with like a little thing of olive oil or something, or some honey. I mean, it's perfect. Perfect.
Agreed. I like it.
Just people love recipes. What can I tell you? I mean, I still have my Betty Crocker. Never mind. Okay. Betty Crocker still goes hard in 2023, y'all.
You still got the instruction manual that came with the Easy Bake Oven.
Oh my God, Max, thank you for giving me this hour and some change. Oh my goodness, this has been a great conversation.
I agree. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been nice talking to you.
We have enjoyed. And the comments always come in right at the end. We've enjoyed our drink. Oh, Erica says, I know a great food photographer. She is a pretty darn good food photographer. I will go ahead.
Okay. Well, tell her to send me an email. I want to see her work.
There you go, Erica. I will get you the email so that you can, chat with Max and show him some of your work. And I really do believe that recipe book, that'd be awesome. I mean, I'm just saying, people like a good recipe book.
Well, we'll especially dedicate it to you whenever we do it.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta put that out there. You gotta put it into the universe, and then it'll conspire to assist you. I'm just saying. Okay. That's what I've heard.
I love that term. That's a great term.
It is. We want to thank Max for giving us this hour, for talking about this beautiful product that I enjoy every day. I'm going to highly suggest you go to the website, Holy Smoked Olive Oil. Did I get it right? I think
holysmokeoliveoil.com.
Doug, Gwendolyn, you put it here. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going I put it there for a reason. I just ran ahead because I was like, I'm going to forget it. There it is, holysmokeoliveoil.com. There it is. Get you guys some. I'm telling you, this is that. And do sign up for the newsletter. Max goes hard. And I'm sorry, but your I know it's time to go, but your craftsmanship, your woodworking, that end table you made, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I
was particularly proud of that. Like it felt pretty good. Thank you.
Really good. So Max shares everything, including his woodworking project. So that was nice. And there's a lot of people who do woodworking in here as well. We everybody's creative. We're all creative now.
That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. Everybody wants to work. We all want to do something.
Right. We all want to work. So thank you all for giving us this hour. Thank you, Max, again. Tell Kyle hello for us.
I will.
We are going to put it into universe to get that recipe book. Everybody enjoy your day. Thank you again for watching Small Biz Bites. See you.